Well, good evening. It's the 6th of August, 2021. I hope you're having a good day. Hot as Hades here in Stafford, Virginia. Very humid. I said I was going to do one on the Marshals resume writing. I'm going to do one on the Marshals hiring process, but I'm going to put the resume aside because some of you who have written to me have expressed difficulties that you've encountered in the written assessment. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Marshals written assessment. We're going to go through it. It's downloadable, so you can download it to your computer. But we'll go through the 3 sections that are on there. And hopefully I'll be able to give you a little bit of insight as to what to expect, because this is part of the process. If you're selected for an interview, they want you to do this written assessment. One part of it is simply like judgment questions. What would you do in a certain situation? And there are right answers and wrong answers despite what they say. And then there's grammatical. It's not so much writing, it's can you recognize proper grammar. So we're going to take a look at that and then I'll talk about it. Okay, as I said in the intro, this is the document that they send to you to prepare you. And it's the Assessment Preparation Guide. It was put out in May of 2012. And there's 3 things that this prepares you for. One is a decision-making assessment and a writing assessment, which are done at some sort of testing center. I don't know what it is. Those of you who have taken it might be able to help with that. But it's a proctored test. And then the third thing is the structured interview. So what I'm going to focus on first is the first 2, the decision-making assessment and then the writing assessment, and then we'll get to the interview. All right, the Assessment Preparation Guide. And I would encourage you to download this and read it, and because if you're going to get an interview, they're going to want you to do this first. And basically it's a decision-making thing. It's there are no, again, they say no right or wrong answers. That's not exactly true. There are some wrong answers. And there are things that I might do, but I wouldn't tell them that I would do it. How's that? But they're definitely looking to see if you have a reasoning, a logical thinking process. How's that? They tell you how to prepare. Get a good night's sleep. Don't go in. Have a big party and get hammered the night before. All this stuff. Just read it. Read the whole thing. Make sure you understand it. And you have to go through it pretty quickly. They're not going to give you a lot of time, but here's some. Here's a sample question. And all right, you're a member of a project team in your office. During the project meeting, a colleague gives you a task that you don't feel qualified or trained to handle. What would you most likely do? And it gives you 4 options. Number 1, complete the task as best you can. Number 2, complain to your supervisor. Number 3, ask someone in the office who knows how to do the task to help you. Number 4, explain to the colleague you don't know what you're doing and tell them to give it to someone else. Now, what I might actually do and what they're looking for are separate things. Okay, the last thing you would do, I think, they don't want you to complain to your supervisor. They want to see if you have initiative, okay? And they don't want you to do it incorrectly. So just doing the task as best you can if you don't know what you're doing, that's a recipe for disaster. What I would do, what I think they're asking you to do, ask someone in the office who knows how to do the task to help you. Okay? That seems to be the most logical answer. It'll get the job done and you'll learn how to do it. Any of these other options aren't good because if you just do it as best you can, you'll probably goof it up because you don't know what you're doing. Number 2, if you go complain to the supervisor, nobody likes a whiner. Number 3, if you explain to your colleague you're not going to do it, maybe that's what I might actually do. Why are you giving me this? You're not my supervisor. But that's not what they're looking for. What they're looking for is someone who can work harmoniously with other people. So, you look at this and you have to apply your reasoning ability. Okay? Then they ask you, what are you least likely to do? And for me, it's to complain to the supervisor. Trust me, as a supervisor for many years, the last thing you want to hear is people coming in and complaining about their problems. What you want is people who are self-starters, who get the thing done. So, that would be the least likely. But, maybe you do it differently. Maybe you think I'm crazy, but you're going to get these and you're going to have to do them pretty quickly. I just did an analysis that, it takes a lot longer than you're going to have, but, just again, if you're wide awake and, thinking, there you go. Okay, sample question B. A citizen has arrived at your office and wants to speak with your supervisor who's not at her desk right now. Okay, it's a she. Okay, you're working for a marshalette, a female marshal. I'm just joking. The citizen is frustrated because he's left several messages and hasn't got a call in return. And you know that your supervisor is attending a meeting that will last for another hour. What would you be most likely to do? Number one, find out what they need and interrupt the meeting. Number two, find out what they need and assure him your supervisor will get the message. Number three, tell a citizen your supervisor's not available. Number four, ask the citizen if someone else in the office can help him. Okay, so there's four options. Okay, I would ask the citizen, first of all, if someone else can help him or her. Okay, and if they say no, then I would go to my next thing, which would be find out what they need. And then third, tell them they're not available. Unless it's something very important, then you would interrupt the meeting. But you probably want to find out what they need. And the best way, the most diplomatic way to do that, ask them if there's someone else who can help them. That shows that you're interested in what their problem is. And you're just not sending them away. What would I be least likely to do? Tell a citizen the manager's not available. Okay, that would be least likely. That's like brushing them off, telling them to get lost. Now, in the government, how would you most likely probably get dealt with? That's probably what they would tell you. He's not available. Go away, like the DMV lady. But are you really supposed to be acting like that? No, probably not. So, use your head. Do the best that you can. Again, maybe someone in the marshal's office would say, I didn't do it right if I said, ask if someone else can help them, And, if that wouldn't work, then I'd go to the next thing, which was say, find out what they need and, go from there, But, and again, they say there's no responses that are labeled as correct. They want to see how you think, basically. But I think if you just tell them it's not available, that's true. But I don't think that's the right thing to do, That's me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they want people who are rude. Who knows? Okay, the writing assessment. Okay, you get multiple choice or multiple guess questions. This is much better than having to write an essay. Trust me. All right, for this question, select one that's well constructed. In order to serve the subpoena, I contacted the fugitive and his mother. Now, that doesn't even make sense. Why would you arrest the fugitive? But okay, we'll just pretend we're just looking at the grammar here. Don't read into it. In order to serve the subpoena, comma, I contacted the fugitive, comma, and his mother. Okay, C, I contacted the fugitive, comma, and his mother to serve the subpoena. I contacted the fugitive to serve the subpoena and his mother. Okay, A is correct. Now, if you know that A is correct, you're going to do well on this. If you don't know that A is correct, you need to do some remedial writing a little bit, to prepare yourself. Because proper English is, in order to serve the subpoena, I contacted the fugitive and his mother. That's a proper use of a comma. Okay, B has too many commas, and then you end up confusing the object and the subject, and it tells you, A is the correct one. Okay, and then the last part is the interview preparation, and I'll do that one separately. Okay. And as I said, I'll do the interview separately. I wanted to get that out because some of you have mentioned to me that you didn't pass it. And again, with these judgment things, it's what you would do, but not necessarily what you would do, but what use your logic, to the best that you can. What they're looking for is people who can think logically, and these tests are constructed by PhDs who can put it in a computer and figure out you think logically or you think systematically. And given four options, you can pick one that's the most logical. With regards to the writing, thank God you don't have to write something. You're just looking at it and saying, is it correct? And with that, that goes to elementary education pretty much. If you have a solid elementary education, you're going to do well. If you may have a college degree, but if you don't have a solid elementary education, you're not going to do so well. There's good educations out there and there's not so good educations out there. But if you could see that A was correctly written, the best way I learned to write is by reading, but someone else might do it differently. But I wanted to get this out there because some of you have mentioned that it's a problem, and I don't think it should be a big problem, actually. I think I think everyone should go through that. But look at those guides. There's probably things that you can order online that can help you prepare if you're having difficulty, but really helping you much beyond what I've done. If you can't see that A was correctly written, you need a remedial English class, and just look at the four options, and there's one that makes the most sense. That leaves your options open and finds out what the citizen wants, and doesn't rudely send someone away with the back of the hand or whatever. Now, how a person would actually be treated in a government office, totally different, okay? But this is what they're looking for. So I hope this has been a little enlightening. I tried to make it as entertaining as possible for something that's not entertaining. The next one will be with resume and also the structured interview for the Marshals. Have a good day. Night.